Fellow sinners, another day, another chapter of the Bible. Today I'll be reading Matthew chapter 2. Follow along with me, get your Bible out, and let's start reading. Okay, verse 1. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem. So I know Jesus was born in Bethlehem, but I've never heard of this King Herod guy. I'm probably saying that wrong as well. I've also never heard of this Magi guy who came from Jerusalem, so I'm going to have to look those two up. I'm assuming King Herod is the king of Judea. That's my educated guess. So I'll just go with that for now. But anyway, verse 2. Magi asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." So was Jesus the King of the Jews? Was it prophesied that he would be? Because I mean, in the end of John, it was saying like he never said that he was the King of the Jews, and that's like the title they kind of put on him, even though he didn't want to be like the king. He didn't want to be set up as king. But anyway, in verse 3, when King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. Which I mean, from a king standpoint, that kind of makes sense. Like, if there's a guy that people are saying, "Where's he at? I want to worship him. Where's the King of the Jews?" But you're the King of the Jews. Like, you'd probably be a little bit jealous and be like, "Who's this guy? Who's he talking about?" So that's what the king did. Of course, he's asking like, "Who's this guy? Where's he at?" And in verse 5, "In Bethlehem in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people, Israel." Okay, I don't think the Magi is a guy. I think it's like a group of people or a type of people. I don't know, because in verse 7 it says, "Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared." So from them is the Magi. So I just need to look this up and I'll figure it out, don't worry. And then in verse 8, he sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me so that I too may go and worship him." So I guess I was mistaken that he wasn't jealous or anything. He just wanted to find him because, I guess he was like prophesied to be, the King of the Jews, right? And then verse 11, "On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh." So the Magi are the three wise men? Have I finally found the answer? Because, isn't that... The three wise men gave him the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right? I've never heard of the Magi before, That's like the first time I've ever heard of that. But anyway, they found Jesus, they gave him some gifts. And then verse 12, "And having been warned in a dream not to go back to the Herod, they returned to their country by another route." So maybe I was right the first time about the king being like jealous or something. Maybe he wanted to kill Jesus, I don't know. Because if the Magi were warned in a dream, that's probably because the king... He didn't want to worship Jesus like he said. Maybe he wanted to slit his throat. I don't know. It looks like my prediction was right because in verse 13 it says, "When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. 'Get up,' he said, 'take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him.'" Why is that always the answer whenever a king is challenged? It's like, oh, kill him instantly, even if he's literally an infant. So then Joseph obeyed the angel, right? And they escaped to Egypt until Herod died. And then verse 15, "And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, 'Out of Egypt I called my son.'" It's like I said in the last video, everything that's been happening here has been prophesied. And Jesus is still only an infant. But it's like, that's how you know for sure that Jesus is the Messiah. And then I guess Herod isn't dead yet. They're just waiting in Egypt for him to die. But the Herod then makes an order to kill all children under 2 years old. That's just crazy. This dude really doesn't want Jesus to live. Which filled another prophecy, this one from Jeremiah. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and refusing to be comforted because there are no more." I wonder who Rachel is, I might have to look that one up. And then Herod died, and again an angel appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel. for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead. Me personally, I can barely remember my dreams unless I try really hard. But this guy is just getting messages from God. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, Joseph took his family to Israel, but he heard that this guy, Archelaus, was reigning in place for his father, which was Herod, which made Joseph pretty scared to go there because, like father, like son. That's how the saying goes. And then again, Joseph was warned in another dream not to go to Israel, but instead he withdrew to the district of Galilee, and he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, that he would be called a Nazarene. But anyway, now I know how Jesus got to Nazareth and why he was given, the name Jesus of Nazareth. I like this chapter, it's like a good history lesson on the beginning stages of Jesus' life. I'm going to have to look up King Herod or Herod or whatever it is and figure out a little bit more about him because I've never heard of this guy before. But anyway, feel free to correct me in the comments if I misread anything or misinterpreted anything. Don't forget to read your Bible every day. Subscribe, and I love you guys.